All right, there we go. Cool. So this is the Tesla chart, and I had this level here on the 30-minute chart. You can see it was firm support, broke through. It was resistance for breaking out. Then again, support broke through, and it's struggled in this area more recently. It's all resistance. And so a little while ago, was this probably an hour ago, 2 hours ago, it got there, and then the alert went off. And then at that point, if you zoomed into the 100 tick chart, let's look at it right there. That's what you would have seen. This is a tick footprint chart. And by the time I looked at it, I came to my office and looked at it, it was already down here. I wasn't looking at it in real time, but looking back on it, what I noticed was, of course, it got to the level. And I want to zoom into these footprints because these are, I think, very interesting, very telling. You can see where it got through the level, went right through it. At the top, big imbalance, more buyers than sellers, and it went straight down. So right away, you know that that whole concept of trapped buyers, unable to push upwards, then go sideways for a bit, starts pushing down, then again pushed up. Again, in that same area, you're seeing that same imbalance. Lots of buyers unable to go up. Again, the candles went down. So you're beginning to think of the big sellers right here, the big passive players, the limit orders sitting right here. And on 2 attempts, the market buyers, the aggressive buyers, are unable to break through. So that's interesting. So if I was really watching this live, I would probably start thinking about a short once it gets through the support here. So you have 2 times where the buyers are unable to go, and then once it breaks support, I would think about it short. And as it pushes lower, I like to see these lower highs happening, again with imbalances on the top. And here's what's interesting. Straight down, and with lots of, zoom into it, you can see all the red highlights here. Lots of sellers and going down, so that's interesting. So one potential entry is as it breaks through down there, you can see the white highlight below what I identified as support. The white highlight is just there, so there's a heavy amount of volume right down there, right below that support. That's a potential entry. And if I put that one on, I would likely put my stop up here. If I'm aggressive, I'll put it right above this red candle, but I want to see where the imbalance happened, where there were buyers and it went straight down. So I'd likely put it here, entry there, and you're going short. And to zoom out, looking at targets, I would go zooming back, move out of it. This area makes sense. This was resistance, and then you had the breakout. So I would have a major target around 411, 410. 410 is a little lower, so 411 and 410. This whole zone would be the zone to get it off. So what was that entry I was talking about? I think it was here. Entry would be here, the stop above it here. And there you go. That one, you just leave it. And it would have been about 1106, 1107, getting into that target zone. About 1120, about 15 minutes for that trade. And that one just was so neat. By the time I watched it, by the time I saw it, it was here. But the alert went off, and by the time I got to the desk, and it was here. So again, very simple, very neat setup, not complicated. I think this would have been good. I'm gonna pop down a little below. What happened after that? Yeah, pulled up and again back down. Go to the 30-minute. Yeah, look at that. That's your level, and sure enough, firm resistance. So I like the look of this. Again, this is the stuff I'm trying to trade. Not trading Tesla, but on futures, same idea. Using the 30-minute bigger picture levels, and then wait for it to get to the level, identify the footprint setup. And especially when it's a reversal setup, I won't just go at the first sign of a reversal. Wait for it to break, in this case, break support. You can see the support was right there, and the break is right in that area. You can even tighten it up pretty quickly. In a few minutes, you bring it in close to break even, and then you're risk-free going in. That was one good one. All this happened, what, half an hour ago? 40 minutes ago or something? So that was a fun one. And another one I saw just recently, and I put it on, was silver. Let's see what happened. I haven't been watching it. Silver.
Before you switch, can you?
Yes. Yep, go ahead. Silver got me. I know. Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, can you analyze the Tesla thing with a 1 minute footprint? Because I don't have the tick charts. I was looking at it. I couldn't. It was fast moving. I couldn't understand what to do there.
All right, no worries.
Thanks.
So you want the 1 minute tick chart? Sorry, 1 minute footprints, right? Not tick charts. Okay. Let's put that on. So here are the footprints on a 1 minute time frame. Let's see how it would be different. So what I see is it again got to the level, and I'm looking at where there were imbalances. You can see some imbalance here, lots of buying, but then continued up. I want to see buying, and it went the other way, it went down. When there's more buyers, it should go up, but it did not. So lots of green highlights at the top, but went down. So that's an interesting point. Happened again 2 minutes later, same area, lots of buying. You can see those green highlights right there, straight down. So at the close of this candle, I'm interested in a short, and I would identify this as the support at the bottom of this candle. So when it starts to break down through this candle, right there, yeah, you can see right below the candle, there's that white highlight. That's a massive amount of volume below support. With all the, let's zoom in, with all the selling imbalance, you can see all this going down with lots of red, right? So lots of selling imbalances all right there. So around about the time this candle closed, probably in the last few seconds, I would have entered the short, likely put the stop up here. This is where there was the imbalance. Oh, you can even use it here because I can see the buying imbalance going straight down, right? So this one works as well. Either one of those stops would work. And then for the targets, let's zoom out of that and see what we would identify. I see this area. This was resistance. Here's your breakout. So there were big buyers taking over and going away from here. So again, I put the target in this zone on 411.50 and lower, going into all these, going into this buyer and this one. So yeah, you end up with a similar position. If you did it on a 1 minute chart, I think the RVR would have been a little lower because of the wider stop and the way I'm identifying targets as well on this 1 minute chart. I think the RVR would have been lower. But again, the same concept, same idea.
Could you explain the exit again, the target again? Thanks.
Yeah, target, you're going short, right? So you're looking at levels of support. And for me, the way I'm looking at levels of support is where were their buyers? The buyers were there before, they're likely to be there again. And to identify levels of support, oddly enough, I'm looking at levels of resistance. And here's your resistance in the same place. Once here, and again in the same zone before it broke out. So this was interesting. This was resistance, and then the buyers took off from here. So I'm seeing buyers over here, just above 411. And so I'm going into that target. And from down there, if you get your partials in, it continues to go. If you get a reverse ABCD, you can recycle your position and add some more and go for the next area of buyers. But this is, I mean, you can identify buyers here and here and here, but this is a little more aggressive. This one is a key one because the buyers that came in here, they were powerful. They really are the ones that broke through resistance. That's why I'm targeting those guys. And once again, you take your partials there, it continues down, it retests, goes down again. You can add back in again. At this point, you're all risk-free. The trade's over and you're just getting a bonus out of it. So using this chart, that's how I would identify it.
Hey, great, thanks.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And if you could recycle enough, it goes lower. Over here, look at that, breaks this low. You have a little consolidation area. Again, reverse ABCD, all the same stuff you guys have seen. You can identify the lows over here as targets. We got very close to that low of day already. So, yeah. But again, the key point is up here, that entry. And then you're in it.
And can you zoom into the entry again, the key area?
Yeah, this is the 1 minute on the chart. So
yes,
so right here.
So right there, I'm just having some difficulty understanding the imbalance. So you mentioned the green candle where you showed the imbalance. If you go right, the candle just before that.
Yeah.
Now, isn't there imbalance on the selling side as well? Like there is imbalance, red dots, but still the candle pushed up. Like how do you differentiate between the two?
Yeah, so what I'm really looking at is Well, look, if you're looking at it going up, what you're looking at is a breakout off a major level. This is a very big picture level. This is on a 30-minute chart. As you can see, it was really severe. Lots of selling every single time. Big players coming into the market every single time. All right. So for it to truly break out of there, especially I want to see a consolidation right under the level, something like this, really, and then go. It did not do that on a 30-minute. But again, the same old fractal pattern stuff. On a 1 minute, it came up and it started to consolidate. This is a tiny picture. This is a 1 minute chart. You don't be bothered with it. So that's one thing telling me be careful. Here's where consistently we've seen sellers for what, a week or so. And on the other side of it, if you are convinced that it's going up, you may look at this tiny consolidation. Here's your resistance. Here's your breakout. Comes back and looks like it's bouncing off of that area. But here's the thing, you're looking at naked trading, you're looking at 1 minute charts. You want to see the imbalance. Yes, there's more sellers here than buyers, and it did not go down. It should have. It actually pushed up, but look at this. It still is indecision. And it didn't close a single candle fully bullish. This is indecision. This has got a massive wick to the upside where it had a wick previously. There's way too much doubt coming from the 30-minute and then this price action here. There's way too much doubt saying that you go long in this area. There's no way I would think about this as long.
Okay.
So you need that. You can use naked trading, very simple. If you're using a 1 minute chart, simple enough. Bullish candles. I don't see a single bullish candle here after this breakout candle. Turns out it was a false breakout. And then, yeah, everything was bearish after that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Sure. So there you go. That was an interesting one. I think we had Google earlier today where an alert went off. Again, I wasn't by my computer at all day. So I came back and saw these things a few hours later. Yeah, this alert went off. Market opened and it went off pretty quickly. So let's look at this on the footprint chart. And I like the 100 tick chart. And let's see what we can come up with here. Where was it? Way down here. All right, this is the open. And am I right? Yeah, that's the open. The price got up there very quickly. And by the time it got here, you can see it's still only 8 seconds into the market. Look at the time here. This is nothing, right? 1 minute closed over here. You can already see these higher lows. And if you're looking at ORBs, break and retest, it's all happening right here at a key level. This key level is down here. It was firm resistance for multiple days. Then the breakout happened overnight, and this is simply a retest where that came down through it in the pre-market right before the open, and sure enough, reclaimed it quickly at the open. By quickly, I mean within a minute, about a minute, 10 seconds or something, right here. And you can see these higher lows. If you're able to identify all this, again, fast-paced stuff, you can easily scalp this. In this case, it's set up for a good trend. Yeah, looks like it did. Went straight up to the next level. Take that entry. And the next target's up there. That trigger went off as well. And sure enough, it came down more than halfway. Look at that. I was looking at the short here. This area would have been a major target. Then lower. Oh, look at that. It even went further up from there. Didn't even look. So anyways, Google with the triggers, very interesting price action. You can see the levels are important, and the levels only come from bigger picture stuff. On the 30-minute chart is what I like. See down here and up here, this was obvious. You had support turned into resistance, and overnight was a breakout and retest at the open. Then up here, this was previous support turned into resistance, so there's a target there. And let's see, what do we have? I would put in pretty much, you can see this was support turned into pretty much resistance. That's kind of where it is now. And where did I just put the alert? Oh, there it is. And let's see it, break and retest, and off it goes to the next level. And it looks like it tried to go again, but it would have stopped out taking that one. So again, levels, and the key point is not to expect this. This happened right at the open on Google. Happened in the first 2 minutes or so. What we saw on Tesla, it happened about an hour and a half after the open, right? So that's the key thing, at least the way I like to trade. I like just wait for it to get to a level, let the alert hit, then look at it and see what makes sense. Otherwise, if you just show up right at the open and you expect to jump into something and the price is in the middle of nowhere, you're gonna have a lot of trouble. A lot of trouble. I think we saw that with NVIDIA. I think I saw an alert go off overnight on NVIDIA. Oh yeah, NVIDIA as well. Look at that. That's the alert. And that level, how did I find it over here? You can see it was support right there, broke through it, and then it got back to it and it got really sticky. It's been sticky there recently. Previously it was an interesting level, but look, it stopped respecting the level, so you can't trust it anymore. And sure enough, at the open, yeah, or not at the open, overnight it started buzzing. But because you can just look to the left, you can see it's not been respecting the level. It's very difficult to take a trade on this. So even though you have a level, doesn't mean you take a trade on this. You got to really watch how the price interacts with the level. Today, NVIDIA would have been a mess, but you saw Google would have been good, as well as Tesla, which is fine. And I think I saw oil late last night or something. That was working. But yeah, there you go. So we have this new alerts thing. Again, alerts is for me is a place to look at the chart, not a place to necessarily jump into a position. And you'll find that 80% of the time there is no trade. It's only 20% of the time that you're at the level and there's an opportunity, like we saw in Tesla or Google. Google, we saw like 3 opportunities already. So that's how I've been using them. I think I took, let's look at silver, because I took one on that and that one didn't work. That was just recently, I think 15 minutes ago. Yeah, silver right up there. I have the orders up here. Let's get rid of those. So silver got up to a key level. And yeah, here's the consolidation. Here's your breakout, even retest. And started to look interesting there. How did I do this one? Let's see.
It's being shy.
Yeah, you were saying silver is, well, nothing wants to break, but I saw the signal there on, yeah, there's the entry and exit. Saw the signal here on the footprint chart. Let's see what this was. Oh, right, I remember. So you had the resistance here. You can see it got up to the level. Here's your pullback. And about here is your resistance, approximately with higher lows. And the breakout happened, and I'm looking for the retest, right? Happened here. I wasn't watching it. By the time I started really paying attention, it was here, and it did the retest. And by retest, I mean, again, it comes down and it gives you these red dots, which are more sellers than buyers by 1,000%. And it goes the other way. Red dots means it should go down. If it doesn't, it goes the other way, then you have something. You have a bounce, basically. Happened over here. And I've managed to observe this one here. And yeah, as it starts to get bullish, I don't remember where I entered. Probably the top of this candle is where I would enter with a tight stop somewhere right below it, anticipating the bigger picture breakout. And that's the key. So I'm entering with the small picture breakout, but I'm anticipating the bigger one, which in this case did not happen and took the stop. So there you go. So you want to avoid stops like this, you can just wait for the big breakout, in which case if it never happened, you never would have had it. But nothing wrong with these. These work half the time as well. If you can get those really good entries, the stops really tight, you know, the risk is tiny and the rewards are enormous. I mean, it's hard to think of anything less than 8 to 1 or 10 to 1 at this point. And you don't mind taking 4 or 5 of these little ones. It doesn't matter. So there you go. There's a few interesting ones today. But again, just because we have this new thing in the last couple of days of alerts on levels, I think it's really important to know how to use them. Because if you don't have your setup and your own independent thinking, you know, you're just going to jump into every single alert that pops up in the Discord or in the alerts channel. And that can be very problematic, especially if you've already had a couple of losers early in the day. That's when you're most vulnerable, right? So be careful with these alerts. Be super careful. And I've got them here. Here's the alerts log. This is just the last 12 hours or something. I don't even know. There's quite a lot of alerts. It's a lot of times. And every time you get one of these pop up, doesn't mean you should jump into it. Absolutely quite the opposite. It just means go look at it. And especially then, if you're already in a vulnerable situation emotionally where you've lost a few trades, you're not feeling good, then just shut down all the alerts altogether. You shouldn't be trading even if there is a setup. So again, that's another important thing. So anyways, yeah, that's what I've been thinking about today, trying to make sure we use these alerts appropriately without blowing it up. Okay, very important. What do you all think? Everyone good? Don't know what to do?
Take a look at the MES. Had a nice double top.
MES. I don't think I saw any alerts on that today, but let's see. Oh yeah, I got very close to the level that I had in mind. So
Yeah,
at the top
exactly.
there. Okay, let's see.
Tried to break it twice.
Yeah, so to approach the level, where are we? So that was early, around 10 a.m. Well, this is all volatility stuff. Lower high than the first one, that makes sense. Another lower one. So if you have the alert, let's say you have your level happened to be a little lower and it went off, this would be the first time you'd look at it. So let's zoom in here and see what this area would look like. Where is it? I still got to figure out this whole zoom thing, man. It's driving me nuts. Tricky, huh? So your alert would have gone off, let's say, up in this area. And you know it's been in a bullish trend. This is just a little pullback, really. It made a new high, so it's a bullish trend. What you're looking for is the big green dots at the tops. As in a green dot, and then the candle went straight down. I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing the imbalance here or here or here, not with the settings I have at least. This is the 100 tick footprint. Yeah, I don't see it any. So there's no entry anywhere in this area. Not here either. Not here. I see the green dot here, but this has already gone away from that level. That would have been further up. And it's not enough. You need, for a reversal, you need, a few times where it goes and rejects, especially on the 100 tick chart, which is a tiny chart. So not good enough. Where else? I'm gonna zoom out. Let it get back up into this area. And there we are, back up in here. I still don't see any imbalances. That severe imbalance that I'm looking for. There it is this time. Now you see it. You see those green dots? The green little highlights where the candle went up. You see the green up here, you see the green here, failed to push higher. Indecision, and over here, green, and it pushed lower in about the same area. And whoa, this would have been really fast if you were into it. The high volume zone is about here. We can even call it just simple support at the bottom of this indecision. And if you're fast enough to pick it up, as it breaks this low here and prints higher volume, that happens to be down here. So the ideal entry, according to this, I would take it short here with a stop right above that imbalance right there. So decently tight stop. On the reward side, it would be, where we look at down here makes sense. Oh, tricky. Where would you go with this? This area makes a lot of sense right here. Oh, up here too. There we go. This area makes sense. This was resistance. It broke through. This one makes more sense. This makes the most. This 6904, 6905, 04. This area, because this was resistance. You had the breakout and the retest. The sellers are firm here. So I would like to target 69. This was 6905. Simple. So let's see. Where did we do that entry? I think it was up here. Stop there and the stop there. And oh, look at that. That would have worked. That would have been enormous. Holy crap. The entry would be here and stop there. Someone calculate the RVR down here.
Yeah, that's the trade I was saying was giving me FOMO today because I.
Oh, you missed that one?
No.
I missed it too.
There were actually two occasions where you could have taken that trade.
I was in
Did it
the
twice.
first one. I'm still in bed.
Still in bed. 11 o'clock, man.
Don't judge me.
Hey, it's all right. I was at a natural history museum, man. I'm telling you, man, I'm just sick of dinosaur bones now. Just enough fossils. Yeah, there you go. That's a decent setup. The alert I had was slightly higher, so it never buzzed.
I think the one at 1150 was actually bigger. It was a bigger move.
1150. Let's go further out. Where from down? Nowhere. Oh, up here. Oh, there we go. I didn't even get up there. I didn't even get that far. So let's see. The first one went to the target I would have had in mind, and then doubled from there. Oh, you can recycle and go. If you get the same alert up in here, yeah, let's look at this. So the alert would go off, yeah, not at this first top, but up here. Let's say you did go off here. What would you do? What would you do? You're seeing the imbalance here, the green, but still it prints higher. It doesn't immediately drop down. So not convincing. Over here, I don't see any green highlights, so no interest. What do we have? There we go. Does it drop? No, it doesn't right away, so it's still not there. I don't see it. I don't see it. No, I don't see the imbalance the way I like to. Oh, I see it here. It's already lower though, and then lower. I don't really like to play it this way. Lower and then lower. I want to see it, consistently in one spot. And
Silver is
lower.
breaking.
Oh, don't tell me to stop me and went again. See, I see this move happened on the MES, but I don't see the way I like to trade. That entry, I don't think I would have been able to take it. Unless you take it lower. But at that point, I'm not sure I take these entries. Take the earlier one. That would have been okay. All right, silver. Let's do this one. Silver is the $1 million ticker. All right, there we go. Let's get this to work properly. Okay, what do we have? Breaking. What do you mean breaking? Well, it's just sitting there. All right, what do we have here? That's new highs. All right, so the fun is, the fun is good. We can actually look at it in real time. So you have, this was the previous high. You have the breakout. The entry may have been earlier. But let's see, okay, the breakout's there. Oh, sorry, breakout levels there. What you want it to do is just come back and bounce off. It did that here. Where is it? Down here, you have these imbalances. It pushed up and continued pushing up. Where's your high volume area? Here. You want high volume above this level, 82.75. You want very high volume up here. Yeah, it's there. You can see it right there. The white prints are higher. Just by pennies, but that's what you need. Actually, it's not in a bad place to enter even right now. It's above the high volume area. This is your imbalance. This is the buyer you're going with. If you look slightly to the right, you can see these imbalances constantly going higher from here, here, and here. So if you enter, in this zone where the volume is good and the imbalance, but now it's on the way down. I'd rather wait and see if it does another imbalance. Wait for it. And let's see if we can get into something here. We got 3 contracts here. We can do this. Just wait for it. You can see up here there were sellers. Sorry, there were buyers but unable to go, right? This is the buyer I'm working with, the limit buyer sitting right here. And now you can see the high volume zones right here, the whites, the same place. Well, there we go, imbalance coming. If it prints up here with a tremendous amount of volume, it'd be worth getting in with a stop down here. And when the target's way up. Target's, I already looked at it earlier. It's like 85 or something. Yeah, way up in this area. 86 even. All right, let's see. Oh, there we go. There it is. All right, there we go. Let's spot that. And the stop would be down here. There it is. Entry, stop. And let's put a target in place. We have, this is just a false break. This is the real target. But you got to take it off here. Can't trust it to just break through there. Well, this is also the previous week's high. I've got this little indicator. So let's do this, about 80, just below 86. So there we go. There we go. Okay, that's it. That's in place. Either you stop out or you make money. And if you look at the RVR side of it, how much is that? 20? Whatever. So if it's 20R, and you can stop out 10 times, it don't matter. So yeah, if this goes great. Otherwise, you wait for another pullback or wait for the setup to make sure it's really there. Yeah, 30-minute chart. Yeah, it's all looking positive. So that's it. That's how I like to manage these sorts of things. Just get your sizing right so you can risk how much you need to risk. And off you go. And this is the kind of thing, if you like, and I've done this with options, is where you start with a very wide stop as you're getting your confirmation. You can bring your stop in tighter and add your size in, so scaling in basically. Not doing that here because the stop is already here, but if I wanted to start with a wider stop, I can do it down here perhaps. And then when I'm ready to bring the stop in here, as I'm getting those imbalance confirmations, I can bring it in and add more size. It's another way of managing it, but I mean, it's a lot of work. And it was useful with options. This stuff, I'm not sure it's necessary. Anyways, that's it. From now on, here's the key point. You have no idea what's going to happen. You put on the trade. What happens next? I don't know. Don't ask me because I don't know. All I know is the setup was there. If the setup is there, you must take the trade and leave it. I'll look at it after a few minutes and see if there's an option to move the stop in tighter. That's about it. All right, what else we got? We got all these alerts. Keep an eye on this one as it goes. Way too many alerts, man. It's driving me nuts. I may not want to look at all these alerts. Vinay, you got to fix this, man. You're the alert officer in here. Please filter them. Do something.
Hey, sorry, I wasn't paying attention. What was that mean?
No, nothing. I was just saying there's way too many alerts now. Driving me nuts.
No,
Not
it's
even fair.
not. It's not. We are loving it actually.
You're loving it. All right. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. Well, guys, in about 8 minutes, it's Brian's session in here. 1 p.m. on Fridays and Tuesdays. So just about getting there today on Friday. And let's let everyone else know as well. Fun, huh? Again, these alerts are there. That doesn't mean you take a trade. I mean, it takes a hell of a lot to really put risk on. So make sure you know what you're doing with alerts. And again, the real vulnerable point is after you're in a weak emotional position, and then you get an alert, and then you think, "Oh, look at that, it's going up! Yay!" No, do not. Please don't do that. That is dangerous. B, what do you need? Are the recordings on YouTube channel or Google Drive? Yes, Nassim got it. It's all on YouTube. There is no such thing as Google Drive or Dropbox or anything anymore. Everything's being uploaded in one simple place where you can find it. Gosh, this watch list channel has exploded. Gotta fix this. Google just got an alert. No, sorry, that was 20 minutes ago. Not even paying attention. All right. Cool. So we'll end this little recording and get into the next one.